Brace yourself because things are about to get somewhat cringy, as this list takes a closer look at those often excruciating and simply baffling times awesome wrestlers went from great to goof in a matter of seconds. I am Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 times great wrestlers made themselves look stupid. Number 10, shark cage nonsense makes the JAS look like stupid idiots. The whole idea behind having the Jericho Appreciation Society locked inside a shark cage that was suspended in the air during Chris Jericho's barbed wire battle with Eddie Kingston in 2022 was to keep the gang from interfering with the bloody action. Admittedly, there was always a strong chance shenanigans would literally open the door for some JAS meddling, but it was how the team eventually broke out of their prison that made the entire concept and themselves look pretty dumb. With Ty Mello and a recently turned Anna JAS eventually getting their hands on the cage controls and keys to unlock the structure, it quickly became clear that a little extra rehearsal would have benefited all involved. The keys simply did not want to play ball, and despite commentary trying to talk folks into believing Ruby Soho may have potentially pulled off a cheeky key swap, that still couldn't change the fact that the team ultimately just slipping through the cage shortly after made everyone seem like fools. If it was that easy to slip out, why not do so long before the ladies' intervention? A quick moment of enforced improvisation simply made a bunch of undeniably talented and gloriously silly sports entertainers feel like the wrong kind of stupid idiots on the night. Number 9, a fishy night for Finn Balor. Finn Balor, despite sporting his demonic tassels, looked to be beaten after a savage Roman Reigns spear through the barricade at Extreme Rules 2021. And that's when an idea that likely looked better within either the performer or the demon-satin gorilla's minds shockingly came to life. Flopping around at ringside like a damn fish out of water, Balor's hilariously dumb jolts matched up with the heartbeat blaring out of speakers in the arena. And just to add to the absurdity, his theme then began to play as Balor prepared to coup de grace his way to glory, only for the top turnbuckle to suddenly snap off. Make no mistake, the former Universal Champion tore it up as the Demon down in NXT, and has been an utter delight whilst causing chaos as part of the Judgment Day. But even 18 months on from this absolutely stupid development, it was still hard to erase the memory of those silly fishy antics, as Balor's once unstoppable demon strutted into SoFi Stadium to take on the rated R superstar. Number 8, Kalisto's Lucha Things. From convincing you that he just had his back snapped in half by Rusev thanks to his ridiculous flexibility, to performing one of the most outrageous ladder finishes of all time on Jey Uso, this Lucha Dragon could regularly be counted on to deliver the goods during a bout. The former Cruiserweight champion wasn't quite as comfortable with a microphone shoved in his face, however, and that was never more evident than during the 2016 draft. Various stars had actually been given the space to speak during a few post-draft interviews without a script in sight, so fans were intrigued to hear what the masked one-time US champion would have to say after being drafted to the Blue Brand. Despite a solid enough start though, the only thing anyone now remembers from the car crash promo is Kalisto talking about making good lucha things before letting out a panicked woo as he fled the scene. An unquestionably gifted high flyer once the bell rang, but Kalisto was never quite the same in the wake of making himself look like a bit of a tit during his infamous Lucha Things conversation with Greg Hamilton. Number 7, Roman Reigns gives us a wink. Roman Reigns never really stood a chance on the night of January 9th, 2015, in what still arguably ranks as the worst piece of dialogue ever uttered on the WWE stage. The big dog claimed that one-time Shield pal Seth Rollins was full of sucker in succotash, son. That wasn't even the moment that made the apparent babyface hero look like a fool in front of the millions watching at home though. In what was perhaps a hopeful attempt to draw attention to how stupid this line undoubtedly was, Reigns admitted the infamous phrase wasn't easy to say before unleashing a smug wink down the lens. Rather than making him seem like the cool anti-establishment rebel though, said moment just added to the silly promo mess. And an undeniable star who clearly had all the potential to one day become the undisputed face of the company, once again felt like nothing more than a painfully unfunny Cena 2.0 in this moment. Number 6, Becky Lynch calls Bayley a Karen. On her day, Becky Lynch undoubtedly sits as one of WWE's finest talkers. What should have been the long-awaited rebirth of the much-loved badass babyface character character that had once catapulted her to superstardom largely ended up feeling like a cringy attempt to replay those 2018-19 hits. In fact, in one particularly dreadful back and forth with her rival on January 16th, Lynch actually tried to weaponize a phrase made popular at the height of her man fame. All Lynch did was make herself look like Steve Buscemi in a snapback. If you know, you know. It was the worst sort of stupid WWE cringe in the thick of what should have been a program that re-established both women as two of the most captivating names in the company. Number 5. Chris Jericho's sexist roasting of Paige VanZandt. Sure, this is the same legend of the business who was all too happy to make highly inappropriate jokes at Stephanie McMahon's expense back in the Attitude Era. But in 2021, AEW's supposed veteran presence in the locker room should not have been firing sexist comments at anyone on live TV. But that's precisely what went down in November of that year, with the then Inner Circle leader immaturely using Paige VanZandt's words against her to suggest she'd like to get it on with the entire babyface faction. Just for the record, the former UFC fighter can do whatever the hell she pleases with her body. The fact this uncomfortable dig then led to another attempt to pop the crowd by bringing up her OnlyFans page only made the apparent good guy seem like even more of a sexist idiot on the night, regardless of whether VanZandt was fine with the lines or not. Watching the unit AEW were trying to present as the heroes of the story slut-shaming someone live on Dynamite was a terrible look, one that made both a living legend like Jericho and the company in general look rather stupid. Number 4. Batista opts for blue. The always explosive and entertaining Batista clearly just wanted to change things up a little on the night of Evolution's climactic war with The Shield, but in opting to go for a bright blue getup at Payback 2014, he inadvertently ended up looking a little stupid alongside the rest of his teammates, with Triple H and Randy Orton both donning all black attire. And even 5 years on from that infamous choice of clothing, the multiple-time world champion was still in no mood to laugh about the surreal visual of him going full blue in his penultimate WWE match. In response to former NXT announcer Alex Del Barrio apologizing for booing him at that point in time, but happily admitting to still finding the Blue Tista chant kind of funny in 2019, Batista noted that instead of focusing on the legends trying to make 3 rising stars in a highly physical finale, smart marks focus on me wearing blue and start the Blue Tista chant, which is all people remember. Yeah, hysterical. I mean, it was pretty funny, Dave. Come on. Number 3, Ronda Rousey's Deez nuts line is something else. Arguably the worst of the former SmackDown and Raw Women's Champions' many ill-advised moments of verbal improvisation came during a backstage interview after Rousey and Shayna Baszler had just lifted Women's Tag Title Gold on the May 29th edition of Raw. Fired up at the idea of dominating the understocked division, Ronda demanded that the two be recognized as the best, and that would have probably been enough to fool fans into thinking a bright future was on the horizon for the often overlooked straps. But then Rousey followed that up by clarifying that Deez nuts prove they're the cream of the crop, as the pair shove their titles at a camera person probably trying their best to keep a straight face. Number 2, Seth Rollins foolishly takes to Twitter. All of the impressive in-ring work in the world still won't change the fact that the current World Heavyweight Champion also has an unfortunate habit of embarrassing himself outside of it on occasion. Nobody is perfect, of course, and a comment that may initially seem witty and clever in the moment can soon leave you looking like a bit of an idiot. It happens. It happened to Seth back in 2019, with the one-time Shield man clashing with Will Ospreay on Twitter and quickly going from babyface Universal Champion to obnoxious a-hole in just a few short tweets. After claiming that there wasn't a person alive who did this pro wrestling stuff as well as he did or as often, the British sensation piped up. And when Ospreay noted how the world-class performer had actually wrestled more than Seth in 2019, Rollins opted to needlessly suggest that the pair should compare bank accounts if Will wanted to talk about numbers. Rollins at least owned up to that last tweet being trash and it being dumb of him to hit send in the first place later down the road. But the lesson here, think before you tweet, folks. Number 1, CM Punk tries the BUCKSHOT repeatedly. CM Punk had actually proven that he could hit a version of Hangman Adam Page's BUCKSHOT Lariat's finisher on an episode of Dynamite in the lead up to the pair's fateful war at Double or Nothing 2022. So when the best in the world lined up Hanger for a disrespectful dose of his own medicine on the night of the pay-per-view, it was safe to assume that Punk's inability to properly execute the move was all a work, designed to add more drama to the AEW World Championship battle. What a genius. Only when the soon-to-be champ attempted to once again go full buckshot during the main event war, the Chick Magnet's failure to once again land on his feet after slingshotting himself into the ring quickly made old Phil look a touch silly, and the sequence soon became even more embarrassing as the folks inside of T-Mobile Arena fired boos at Punk's buckshot misfire. As Punk himself put it in the aftermath, mistakes happen, and at least the star in his 40s had the guts to try it. Going forward though, it'd probably be wise to leave this sort of cowboy crap to the elite. Oops, I went there. And that's our list. Know of any other times great wrestlers made themselves look stupid? Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!